Hello, this is Shinru. Today I'm going to introduce a very useful tool, EJS. This tool can be used to write JavaScript code in a HTML file. So that way it will save a lot of work when you're writing, for example, for loop, or when you're writing an if-else statement in your HTML code. So let's get into this. So to install EJS, what you need to do is we can go to package.json and and then we do npm install. Sorry, let me first check if this code is working. Okay, so what we can do is we can just delete this node.module. Let me quickly do that, and let me reinstall everything. So as you can see, this is a very small project that I prepared to demonstrate EJS. Okay, so npm start. Let me see if this code works. So I think it should be 4000, the port. I think the port is 4000, right? Okay, so it works now. So what do? We have to install EJS into our node modules. So what we can do is npm install EJS. And EJS is installed, and to highlight the keywords for EJS, we need to install an extension called EJS Language Support. So as you can see, it's already installed. So once we have EJS Language Support installed, we no longer need the HTML file. We can change HTML file to an EJS file. So they basically are the same, but EJS file, you can write JavaScript code in your EJS file. From what I know, it's the same as you write a PHP code, and so you first write a special character to indicate that you are going to write a JavaScript code in the HTML file, and then you write your HTML code, and then you use the JavaScript code to perform some special effect for the HTML code. For example, you can do a for loop, you can do if else on your HTML code. So let's get into it. I will demonstrate how to write JavaScript code inside of an EJS file. So what we can do here in this EJS file, what we can do is we can pass a title to this EJS file. So to pass a variable to this EJS file, you can do from app.js here, and you can render the same file, but change this to EJS, and you can pass the variable here as, for example, title. So title is the variable, and say code. Title is code. And once you pass this variable, how do you use it here? So what you can do is you can write this. This is the start of the JavaScript code you can write. So here you can write equal. Equal sign means you are going to access a variable. So the variable we are going to access here is the title. So this is a close bracket. So okay, so after this, let's just run this again and see how it goes. As you can see here, you can see code here. So basically we can pass different variables from app.js, and it will always show the value of the variable in our HTML. So it adds flexibility, and it can be used another way. You can so the variable you pass to the HTML is not necessarily has to be a string variable. You can also set it as a list variable or an object variable. So for example, if I pass in a list here, if I pass in a list from here and I pass in the list as A and B, so once you pass the list as a variable, so how do you access it? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a list variable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add different I'm going to use a for loop to traverse and through this list and add each variable, which is A and B, as a list here. So what I'm going to do is use this, indicate that I'm going to use a JavaScript and for loop, let each variable of inside this list. So here, wrap this over to this. So what I'm going to write is another one of that. So here I'm going to add variable, which is each item in that list, and here I have to close the bracket, and let's see how it goes. So what we can do is we can restart the server and restart localhost and see. It says couldn't find the matching close tag for this 19. Okay, so here I'm going to access this variable, so I'm going to add a equal symbol here. So that's the only difference between JavaScript and vanilla JavaScript and EJS JavaScript. So here, let's restart the localhost. So let's take a look at where it went wrong. So it says couldn't find a matching close tag for this. So here, serving up HTML. So this for loop, and there is matching tag. Oh, here. So here I'm missing a percentage. So always remember that this and this is, so inside of this you can write JavaScript code in between of this. This is the indicator that you're going to write JavaScript code inside EJS file. So now let's test this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to restart the local host, and hopefully it will show up. Reference arrow. So it means, okay, so because I have deleted in my app.js, I've deleted the title here, so therefore it couldn't find title, and it is complaining about that. So what I can do is I can just delete title here. So basically I can also add multiple variables, but for demonstration purpose, that I'm going to make it easier for you to see the for loop. So what I'm going to do is restart, and as you can see, so A and B, so all the items inside the list has been showing in the demonstration here. So, and when we add another character here, it will have the same effect. Basically, when it restart, you can see. So we can send a list, an entire list to the HTML through render function in app.js, and it will show all items in the list. So it gives us a lot of flexibility when we write our HTML code.